Jeff or Nick, are either of you going to share the slides?
I need to jump off quite quickly after, so it'd be best if someone else did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think.
This is Nick, if you're capable.
Okay.
Yep, I can do that.
All right.
I think we're live. I'm just tweeting, and let me just check the audience quickly. Okay, we've got 5 people in the audience, but hopefully a lot more people watching the stream. Where are we at? 5 minutes. Okay, great. So I'll just do a quick intro. And this is the Q4 ENS Town Hall. We'll hear updates from the ENS Labs team, the working group Stewards, and a dozen or so, half a dozen, sorry, ecosystem projects, projects that are new to the ENS ecosystem or also kind of existing and have made, huge progress and had a huge impact over the last quarter or two. So Nick, you can maybe kick us off with the ENS Labs update.
Sounds good. Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Great.
All right, can we advance one slide?
Sorry, are we starting now or are we about to start?
Oh, let's start now. It should be scheduled. Hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, we can start now.
All right, well, thank you. Go ahead, Nick.
No, you go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Alicia, and greetings, friends. So I'm Khori with ENS Labs, and thanks for joining this Q4 town hall. And definitely looking forward to hearing from some of the builders later on in the session. But for now, we have a few updates from the labs team. So talk about internal stuff, external stuff, and then start here. So first, I want to welcome the newest members of the core team, Sadaf Vincent, aka Zadaf7.eth, Serene, and Rasmus, aka Cthulhu. So you all know them. They're longtime community members and advocates of ENS, and now they're members of the core ecosystem team, led by the one and only Alicia.eth. So we're so happy to have them on board and engaging with the community, users, and builders. So due to their work, you'll notice more regular Twitter spaces with guests from all across the ecosystem. Also, I'd like to shout out specifically Cthulhu for upgrading the ENS doc site, which is now live, and you can go to support.ens.domains. So check it out and give us your feedback. Now, in addition to all the development work that Nick and Jeff will discuss further with regard to version 3 of the app and other things, we've been looking closely at 2023 and beyond, having conversations with builders in our community, Web3, Web2, traditional industry, sports, government, and non-governmental organizations, and how we can advance our protocol to serve even more people across the globe. And we've been upping our game and increasing our engagements with builders and with the media. So this quarter, I think Nick has recorded 3 podcasts. I've recorded 2. Some of these are already released and some haven't been released yet. But we're proactively building relationships with the media to make sure we're top of mind when they're looking for commentary. We've joined the Blockchain Association in the US to add our voice and efforts to good quality public policy making, at least here in the United States. So due to the continued issues in Web3 with rugging, hacks, and with the recent collapse of FTX and the large scale fraud that was uncovered, 2022 was a really tough year that has set our industry back. Now, those of us embedded in this space, we're not going anywhere, but for our industry to grow, we have to begin to connect with normies and begin to build for them. So this current environment is not conducive for the normies and newbies. It's too complex. User experience is typically poor. And there are too many attack vectors where error and fraud can harm users. But that said, I believe our ecosystem, ENS, should be the place where people begin their Web3 journeys. And we believe everyone should, in fact, start here. So our Start Here initiative is to build a simple, safe, and secure means for newbies to engage in Web3, right? The first step anyone should take is to secure an ENS name. So that should be step one, but it can't be step one right now for the normie, right? They actually need a wallet first. So we're thinking about this specific user journey and what it takes and what it will take in order to truly onboard a normie, not only into ENS, but into Web3. So we're thinking about this journey, this pathway, and we're going to build in 2023 a product and service to cater directly to them. So again, I want to let you know a few of the areas we're thinking about and we've been communicating and speaking with. We're talking about Web3, Web2, government, non-government, sports, but there's so many areas where our protocol can have influence and active, and we're excited about continuing to build. But our first step in going down that pathway is launching version 3 of the app, which is coming up really soon. So I'll turn it over to Nick and Jeff for their updates.
Cool, thanks, Khori. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about the name wrapper and a little bit about the front as well. So I'll start with the name wrapper. So as most of you know, the name wrapper went into a third audit earlier this year in November. That audit has now been completed and mitigations have been written for the audit findings. So we're currently going through a mitigations review right now, which should end sometime the middle of next week. If that goes all correctly and there aren't any bugs with the mitigations, then that mitigation review will end and we'll think about trying to deploy to testnet if hopefully before Christmas. And then we want it to be staying on testnet for at least a couple of weeks, and we'll probably reassess with things in the new year, and everything looks fine. We'll be looking to hopefully deploy to mainnet in January. With the audit and like all the things that have been going around with the name wrapper, we've been thinking a lot about what are we doing apart from auditing to ensure contract safety. So myself and Nick and part of the team have been thinking about fuzzing and formal verification for our contracts. So actually, for people that don't know what those things are, I'll give a quick definition. So what is fuzzing? So basically, fuzzing is essentially automatically calling many different functions in many different orders with many different inputs. Kind of like, you can think of it kind of like a robot that calls our contracts. You can kind of think of it kind of like a brute force attack for the contracts, and it's used a lot outside of a Web3 actually to attack systems to try and make sure there isn't any attack vectors. Fuzzers in Web3 and smart contracts are quite nascent right now, but they're coming more and more sophisticated. So ENS in particular has been thinking about these kind of fuzzing frameworks that allow you to keep your contracts safer. ENS in particular needs fuzzers that can call multiple different contracts. So like some of the earlier fuzzers that were around 2, 3, 4 years ago, weren't as sophisticated as they are now, and maybe could only call a single contract. We needed quite a complicated, sophisticated fuzzer that can call all the different contracts in ENS to make sure there isn't any attack vectors there too. So we're looking at a couple of different fuzzers right now, one from Echidna and one from Ponomore, and we're having a look at like if they make sense for ENS, and we're testing them out right now. Apart from fuzz testing, we've also been looking into formal verification. Quick definition of formal verification for those who don't know what it is. It's essentially you can define certain things that you don't want to happen with your contract, and the formal verifier will turn your contract into mathematics and will try and break it and try and prove it incorrect. It's something that we're not specialized in either, and we've been in talks with some other companies about possibly using the formal verifiers, because formal verification is something that the Web3 industry has been improving upon year on year, and so we're looking into that now to see if it makes sense for our contracts. And so in 2023 we're definitely looking into hopefully getting more of better coverage with our testing. That includes fuzz testing as well as formal verification. So contracts aside, I'd like to give a little bit of an update on the front end. Because of the delay on the contracts and the third audit, we've had time to refine UI and UX for our new app. One of those updates included moving from the 2-column layout that you've seen in preview.ens.domains and alpha.ens.domains to a 1-column layout. If you check out alpha.ens.domains, we're constantly updating that, and it's currently a new 1-column layout, which we feel like is better designed and shows our UI in the best way possible. A lot of these updates have been influenced by the UX tests that we've done through that have been positioned by our designer Dom. I've been tweeting those out, and thank you to everyone that has participated in all those UX tests. They've been very helpful for us to make sure that we are providing the right user experience for everyone using our app. I think you might have seen Dom also posted the new icons when we've been working on refining all of the UI and UX and design. So all of that's been great, even since we have more time to do those things. Also, there's been discussions on things like how to improve the Fuse UI for the new name wrapper update. How to create a basic subdomain registrar UI for the ENS app v3. These are all things that we're constantly looking at for v3. Sorry about that. Overall, the v3 app is looking pretty good, and we've had some extra time to add more tests, add more UX improvements in the meantime. So, we're looking good to having that ready for when the contracts are deployed to mainnet. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So we'll hand it over to Nick.
Thank you, Jeff. Tough performances to follow. So general sort of back-end and smart contract updates. We have a suite of contract updates besides the name wrapper that are ready to go. Most of these are to support new features enabled by the name wrapper and just generally update them to newer standards. So we have a new version of the .eth registrar controller, which affects how names are registered. This is going to enable registering wrapped names directly, as well as making it possible to set a wide variety of records at the time of registration in a single transaction, which will save gas. I'm also pleased to say that we've managed to get the cost of registering a wrapped name down below the original cost of registering an unwrapped name. So despite all the new functionality, there will be some gas savings. We're also deploying new versions of the resolver in order to support the name wrapper functionality, and a new version of the reverse registrar, which is how people set their primary ENS names. The main advantage, or the main new development there, is that we will support contracts having their primary names set by the owner of the contract. So if your contract is ownable, the owner will now be able to set it rather than the contract itself having to set it, which should lead to a lot more named contracts in Etherscan and elsewhere. All of these updates we expect to bundle together and make available for a DAO vote at the same time as deploying the name wrapper. And they are all live on the Girly testnet at the moment. We continue to push forward with CCIP read and off-chain resolution. This is our solution for making it possible to use ENS without having to pay L1 gas fees. The main work here is that we're working with a number of parties on production-ready integrations with Optimism, Arbitrum, zkSync, and other off-chain systems. This will make it possible for people to spin up their own trustless gateways to L2s and not have to rely on a centralized system. We're also working with other wallets to start building out subdomain issuance on a free basis for their users. We'll announce those as they're made public. And finally, my own work on DNS integration. The goal there, as I previewed at DevCon and elsewhere, is that it should be possible to set up a DNS name in ENS without paying any gas fees at all, which is a substantial change from the current system where you have to pay anything up to $1 million gas in order to register a DNS name. This will be possible via setting DNS records and via CCIP read at the same functionality that enables subdomain issuance. I am working actively on that at the moment and hope to have a preview out for people early in the new year. And that's it from ENS Labs for this town hall. Thank you. Back to you, Alicia.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, ENS Labs team. I know that was a lot to take in, and I think that Q1 will be really busy for the new year, and really exciting to see a lot of this kind of stuff out for people to play with. I know that lots of people have been really excited about what we have on the horizon. I'm just going to invite up slobo.eth, theanthonyware, theanthonyware.eth, and coltron.eth, who are the ecosystem, the working group stewards. So let me just change over some stuff. Thanks, ENS Labs team. You can drop down. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Slobo, can you see? Can you get your video working and things like that?
Yeah. Can everybody
cool.
see me?
All right,
Yeah.
I see you. Okay, just getting everyone sorted. Okay, now we just need Anthony. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, Anthony, are you around? Are you able to unmute? And
there we go.
Hooray. Okay, great. I'm really, really excited to hear from the working group stewards. I think the DAO has had a really wonderful term this term, and has really started to hit its stride, thanks in large part to the good work of the working group stewards. And so we have 3 working groups in the ENS DAO: meta governance, ENS ecosystem, and public goods. So I think the lineup today will be, we'll hear from Slobo for ENS ecosystem, and then Anthony for public goods. We'll finish up with Colton from meta governance, and then we will also hear from Charlie from the Agora team, which is related to a meta governance initiative. So thank you so much, Slobo.
Hey, thanks for that wonderful introduction, and love what ENS Labs is working on. And I'm sure everybody who's listening to this is just as excited as I am for all the new features and kind of the explosion of things that are yet to come. But enough about how great they're doing. Let's see what the ecosystem has done most recently. So let me share, if I figure this out. Okay. All right, I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see.
Yep. So for this ENS Town Hall, I thought it would be good to highlight and focus more on the human aspect versus necessarily projects. I think we talked about projects last update, so I wanted to focus on the builders. And simply said, we fund builders. Every single person you hear that you see here has been funded either a little bit or a lot of it. And ENS would not be what it is without all these wonderful contributors consistently delivering value. And a lot of them are doing it with no expectation of reward, 0. But they do something nice, and either the ENS core team gives them a bounty, or the ENS DAO does. In the case of Prem, who found bugs and now is being supported by the DAO to a degree. And I'm keeping some of the numbers private, but they're all kind of on chain, and you could probably figure it out. You have folks like Frolic, who's been fairly prolific in the number of things that they've built to support the ENS ecosystem and beyond. He actually has done good work in the public good sphere as well. And for those that might not be familiar, Frolic created ENS Ideas, which is an API that lots of companies use. I can think of at least one company that uses it and relies on it. It's called Nifty Chat, which is one reason I'm giving him a shout out, because it is a high grade product that he doesn't charge for. So everyone should check that out. We also have z80.eth, who, for those that participate in the weekly ecosystem calls, he created a off-chain resolver demo that utilizes Google Sheets. We instantly decided to fund him for a couple of ETH, because if you do good work you will have the opportunity for retroactive grants. Oops, I'm not done talking about the builders, so I'm just keep going here. We have like recent builders who just came to my visibility recently, like Shugo.eth, who won a hackathon or placed well in a hackathon in San Francisco through the product of Org3. And again, these are people who were unknown, or some of these were unknown, but because of the multifaceted approach of using hackathons as kind of a funnel to the ENS DAO, they've all become known. And I apologize that I didn't put everyone that we funded, because I'm pretty sure it's 5x the number of people. And that's one thing that I think we're going to do a better job next term, which is actually recording the number of people that are actively building, because there's a lot more developers. So these are just some of the ones that are like front and center of my mind. I'm very grateful. I know ENS is very grateful for all the work that they're doing. And I think funding builders is the way we grow and enhance the ecosystem. And one thing that we did to kind of turbocharge it is we created, this would have been better. We created the fellowship program, which Alicia was extremely helpful in orchestrating. But what this program does is it was a pilot that picks one individual and provides them with $50,000 USDC for a single term to allow them to solely focus or to primarily focus on ENS. The person who was part of the pilot program was Greg. And for those that are part of ENS, know how much he's done, but I guarantee you that very few actually know all the things that he's created. Besides creating ENS Grants, which is the site that was used for small grants and all the ecosystem rounds, and the scholarship program that Public Goods just recently ran, he maintains that. It was originally developed by Carlos DP, so I just want to give him a shout out, but he took it over because he was able to dedicate more time to it. He created a Telegram registration bot. So if you ever have poor Wi-Fi and you're on the list, you can register a name. I probably gave away like 80 to 100 names. Like the bot has given away at least 100 names. I've personally given away 15 names, like when I was in ETH Bogota. Also, his newer project is called Mint Your PFP, because a lot of people don't have your avatar set. And it's not just like directly ENS value. There's this project that was thought of during ETH Bogota, which is basically to fund gas fees for people who are voting, and that's ETH-back.xyz. And there's like APIs for other projects. It's just, there's just so many things. So the way we look at it is a fellowship turbocharges ENS because it allows hyper-talented, hyper-motivated people to build and truly grow the ecosystem. Who knows? Maybe there'll be more fellowships in the future, but that's for another time. And the last part that I want to talk about, Greg, is that there's a lot of soft things that happen when someone is fully dedicated to something like ENS. New people come in and they don't know necessarily how to contribute or what to build. They have the skills and the raw talent. He's been extremely welcoming to those people. I know for one example, he talked to Julie Shu to have her give ideas of how to be a better contributor. So it's kind of like the power flows downhill. And to end on a slightly, I guess, more fun note, ENS also has fun. And that's because we do in real life events. And the picture that you see here is from ETH Bogota, ETH San Francisco. You have Alex, Afsa and Nick playing a game that I wasn't smart enough to understand the rules of, but it was great. And we have swag. So if you're around, I hope we have more in real life events. I hope we take more pictures and support more builders. Thank you. It's been my pleasure to work this term, and I hope to keep improving things as we move forward. I hand it off back to Alicia.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Slobo. And that ENS registration bot is really my favorite thing of the month when I was with Luke and Ashu in ETH India, and we had stickers at our table, and people would come up to us and say, do you have any swag? Because we didn't have the ENS cards, and people knew about them from Bogota. So I said, if you have a project and the .eth name is available for it, let us know and we can register the .eth name for you. And so we registered, I think, like a dozen or so .eth names for hackers who are building at ETH India using the Greg's Telegram ENS Ferry bot. And it was so easy and wonderful and great to be able to showcase the tech and do something helpful for people. So yeah, thank you so much for the ecosystem update. Anthony would love to hear about public goods from you.
Yeah, I'm always in awe. I sit in on a lot of the listen to the ecosystem working group, and it's just always amazing. All these folks building great things. So the public goods working group, just want to give a rather quick, not a quick summary, but really, I think the bulk of, and I'll share my screen here in a minute for kind of the last piece. With the public goods working group this year, this term, it's been amazing to hear the ideas about public goods and also the work we've been doing around like expanding into looking at advocacy and then continuing to support Gitcoin, even through Gitcoin's evolution. And looking at how we can continue to be a part of helping public goods be something that's sustainable in Web3. Yes, including ENS, but also beyond the ENS ecosystem. So with that, I think the work we've done with the small grants has been continued on. We're in like round 4. Like think back to July when we were just trying to figure this all out. We're in like the round 4 for public goods, and the last piece and leaving with something that is sustainable. And again, a pilot I'll share here on the screen. Wanted to share that we just like literally in the last like 48 hours, we just were able to close out the first round of the public goods scholarships. And with this, the cool part was people were nominated by their peers. And what better, and how fitting that public goods being nominated by their peers for the work in public goods. And I purposely put this screen because you can go to, and again, so grateful for the work that Greg furiously getting things done and trying to explain it to a non-technical person like me what's happening. So this was just announced, and it's super awesome because oftentimes with public goods projects, they're doing such important work, but the funding is a challenge, the regular funding. So with this pilot of the public goods scholarship, we're looking to be able to create not something that funds their whole life or all their projects, but at least gives them something that can be counted on over the next year, and to help them continue to work on their public goods projects. And this is, I think, kind of captures the essence of the public goods working group, is that we're continuing to experiment on things and figure out even the small grants. It's been iteration after iteration and feedback, and we want to continue to make this not just a one-off transaction. This is something that thinking long-term, thinking generationally, thinking far out, helping Web3 and public good and people working on public goods projects. So I'm going to close with that, but if you have a second, go and congratulate these folks. I think many of them are on Twitter or in the forum. Alicia did a post to capture that, and making sure you just celebrate these people because they're working on things that are helping the public. I mean, they're good for the public. So I'll stop sharing and hand it off to MetaGov group. But before I do, I want to say it's just been awesome and an honor to be able to help create the space for the working group, the public goods working group. Yeah, look forward to seeing what happens in the next term. All right, take care.
Thanks so much, Anthony. Yeah, it's definitely been an exciting week for the public goods, or a couple of exciting few weeks actually for the public goods working group. And thank you so much for the update and for your work as a first-time steward this term and the lead steward of public goods. So really appreciate all of your work. Okay, so now we're down to meta governance with coltron.eth, and then I think we'll have an appearance from Charlie. So I will leave it to you, Colton.
Thanks, Alicia. Yes, I'm coltron.eth, lead MetaGov steward for this term, kind of kicking off the MetaGov stuff for this call. The way I'll kind of structure my little 5-minute speech is kind of looking back on stuff we had planned, looking at currently what's happening right now, and then looking forward, kind of the next term, and some initiatives that are kind of going to carry over to next term. So looking back on Q4, just to put some quick data on it, the working groups used approximately $582,000 of USDC of DAO capital across all the working groups. This supported hackathons such as DevCon, ETH India, ETH San Francisco, the small grants that Anthony had hit on, and a lot of the builder support that Slobo has provided in ecosystem, as well as other DAO tooling and governance initiatives within the MetaGov working group. DAO voter participation is still super strong. Looking at what we saw in term 1, Q1, we are still seeing more active voters, especially on these past working group steward elections. And then looking currently at right now, kind of the big hot topic item has been the endowment. The endowment and the treasury management and proposal discussions that happened on the forum. The endowment, if you're not aware, is an investment strategy that ensures that the DAO can operate and continue its core operations regardless of economic outlook. Our PAC key is going to make a post on this in the next week, and the next steps will be for the DAO to publish a proposal to actually fund the endowment itself. So that's going to be something to kind of keep a beat on. I know there's a lot of people who are interested in that discussion. I think that's something that needs to be developed going forward, because the DAO does need to do some active treasury management. And in looking kind of forward on what's happening, the big news really is today, the election results are in. 4 stewards were elected to the same working groups, and then 5 new and some returning stewards were elected across the 3 working groups. But one thing that we've been trying to improve this term in MetaGov is DAO tooling, specifically looking at how people vote and delegate. So a huge shout out to Alicia, who has been working on some of those DAO tooling initiatives that has been funded by the MetaGov working group. So just released today, you might have seen the tweet, is the ENS Agora. That has been worked on by Alicia and Charlie. And I'd like to bring Charlie up to maybe introduce that ENS Agora, which provides, voter information, delegate information, where you can see your delegates, see their voting history and relevant data to make an informed decision when you are delegating your votes.
Hey, Colton. Thanks so much. Hey, everyone. Charlie here from the Agora team. We're super excited to partner up with Alicia and ENS to launch kind of ENS Agora today. This, again, Colton, as you mentioned, it's not been possible without Alicia, Tate, Nick, and the whole community. So thank you so much. Quick background on ourselves. So we're a group kind of that's very passionate about governance tooling in general. We initially built Agora for nouns as an experiment, and frankly took a lot of inspiration from ENS and the ENS portal. And when Alicia reached out to us to bring Agora to the ENS ecosystem, we were honored and immediately said yes. So that's how we got involved. And yeah, just being in this call gets us so pumped about everything that we're seeing that's getting built in the ENS ecosystem, and we're excited to contribute. So a little bit about ENS Agora. We're aiming to build ENS Agora as the best way for any ENS holders and voters to find delegates, view their statements, and delegate votes, frankly. And some of the features of this V1 launch is like filter and sort by delegates, most votes, delegates, and a couple others. View kind of past voting activities, both for a snapshot as well as on-chain. And of course, kind of see the data in terms of how many addresses are delegated to them and so on. And yeah, we pull all this information from ENS itself, avatars, names, and so on. Yeah, overall, we're big believers that when it comes to kind of governance, like the need and kind of what's specific is unique to each DAO. So everyone in this call is a lot more of an expert than us on how to best operate ENS. So please give it a try. Love to kind of hear feedback, ideas, thoughts for kind of our next iteration. And again, we're super excited. Thanks again, Alicia, for bringing us in. And yeah, you can find this at agora.ensdao.org. And please don't hesitate to reach out. So I'll flip it over back.
Amazing. Thanks, Charlie. Really excited about the Agora. I think that with all the activity that has been happening in the DAO over the last few weeks, I think it's a great opportunity for people to kind of pique people's interest in the DAO. And once you see a vote happen, sometimes I think it kind of happens like this. You see a vote, you have kind of missed the block because you have to have delegated before that vote goes live. And then from there, you kind of get involved. And so, yeah, it's really great now. So we have delegate.ens.domains. And now we also have agora.ensdao.org. And so, yeah, and there are many other places as well that people can delegate ENS tokens. So if you do hold ENS tokens, the MetaGov also ran a free redelegation for over 50 ENS tokens on delegate.ens.domains. And so I think that is going to be kept up. Colton, is that we're just going to keep going with that?
That definitely advocating for keeping up. I think we use less than a half an ETH of the 3 ETH allocated for that. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a strong case to just keep that going and just reduce the friction for delegation. I know gas isn't super expensive right now, but I think just what that signals is really, really great.
Yeah. And actually, while we're just talking about delegation and things like that, I will also just include a shout out to review.ens.domains, which is a site that Tate built, where you can log in if you've delegated ENS in the past 12 months. It will give you, it's kind of like a Spotify Wrapped themed kind of thing where it gives you a recap of your like delegate action over the last 12 months. And you can see kind of what has been happening with the person that, or the account that you delegated to has been participating or not. And so, yeah, really excited about all of the governance initiatives. I think that getting as many people who are interested able to be in a position to participate is really important for us. ENS, I kind of hope that, you know, we as an ENS community pride ourselves on being as accessible as possible. I always say, like, you know, if you have one ENS, I don't know what the price of one ENS is at the moment, but it's like somewhere under $20. So if you have one ENS, you can delegate that. You can participate in off-chain and on-chain votes. You can participate in voting on the ENS grants website, which is ensgrants.xyz. And I'm sure over the coming, you know, next term, there will be many more opportunities to participate just by, honestly, even just holding one ENS. So that's really exciting. And yeah, I will just quickly recap. Colton mentioned it. We wrapped up the elections for the stewards for next term, which is Q1, Q2, 2023. And so I'll just quickly run through who the stewards are. So MetaGovernance, Nick.eth, Simona.eth, and Catherine Wu. ENS Ecosystem, slobo.eth, Limes.eth, and Yambo.eth. Public Goods, ABSA.eth, coltron.eth, and Eduardo, who is, I say Vega YP.eth, but I don't actually know. Eduardo will have to correct me. I'll find out really soon. So congrats to the kind of incumbent and incoming stewards. I think this is a really positive note for the working groups for this term. And thank you so much for your work, because it's a lot. And I hope that everyone really makes the most of the downtime over Christmas and New Year's, because I don't know if you remember this time last year, but it was kind of madness. So yeah, thank you everyone who has participated in every kind of facet of governance. It's been really great. Okay, so I think that just about wraps up the kind of working group and DAO component of the town hall. And now we're going to hear from different ecosystem projects, that a lot of which have either kind of been funded or supported through directly through the ecosystem working group, through grants or through Gitcoin grants, or have participated in discussions in the governance forum. So, okay, I'm just going to bring up Xin from Planetable. Okay, thank you both. And I will just drop you down. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, how's it going with a screen share and your video?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
got started.
wonderful. Perfect. Okay, so we're so excited to hear about Planetable. We see the tweets on Twitter, we see the posts in the governance forum, and I have to say that this is one of, I would say it's like one of the most popular projects that has posted in the forum in terms of the response that it has had from the community. And so we're so excited to hear from you with an update about Planetable.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alicia. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited here today to present our project. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Xin, and we are a small team of 3 working on the Planetable project. Okay, let me share my screen now. Okay. Yeah, okay. Many of you have probably wondered, okay, that how can I have a website on the ENS domain? Like, okay, Vitalik.eth, that he has a website on the ETH domain, and his website is super popular. Yeah, and yeah, so I many years ago that I did a little bit of research that to have a website on the ETH domain, actually you need to use 2 things. First is okay, you need to have a static website, and then you need to publish that website with IPFS or RWave. Okay, and to use IPFS, you need to download a program on your computer and publish the website with that program, or you can use a centralized service like Flick. But Flick depends on GitHub, which is another centralized service. So I thought to myself that what if I can make a native macOS app to make the whole process easier? Yeah, that's why we got started. Yeah. Okay, this is Planetable, which is a native macOS app for building and hosting websites for ENS domain. Here you can see this is all the websites that I built with the app. Let me do a simple demo. Okay. Yeah, I can, this is a 2-column Markdown editor. And this is for typing, this is for reviewing. I can drag and drop images and click send. Okay, now you'll see an hourglass here. And actually now it's generating a static website and publishing it to IPFS. There is no command line, no terminal got involved. This is all graphic interface. And okay, now it's published. So this whole static website got published to this IPNS, which can be linked to your ENS domain, like we did here for the Planetable.eth. If we open my Planetable.eth domain on the ENS app here, as you can see, okay, this is the XA74A for the IPNS here. And I linked it to my, to my ENS. And as the link is done, it can be accessed with the wonderful e-start-limo project. And it has support for video and audio. Yeah. Another thing is when you have linked your website build with Planetable to your ENS, and others can just follow your ENS when they are using the same app.
Now let's see that. Okay, here is the post we just created on the demo.olivida.eth domain. So if we load the Planet app on another computer, I click follow Planet here and type this domain. Yeah, okay, I got followed. And I just saw the post that I created on this computer. And this is all peer-to-peer communication. There is no centralized server involved. This, this is all running on the users' computers. Okay, and I'm really excited to show you the latest new feature that we added to the app, is that you can use Wallet Connect to tip ENS content creator. Okay, so let's get started. The first step is we can connect the wallet. It would show you a QR code. And now I load up the MetaMask app on my phone and I click scan. Okay, and now it's scanning and ask me to connect to the site. Okay, connect it. And now when now it's connected and showing my balance on the Khori test network. And now when I browse, okay, other websites like the Vitalik ones, here you will see this new tip button. And when I click tip, it lets me select the amount and network. Okay, we'll stay on the Khori. And here it shows a live gas price. Okay, let's go a big one. And I click send. As soon as I click send, okay, here is the transaction shows up on my phone. Ask me to confirm. Okay, I click confirm. And now we are sending 1 ETH to Vitalik.eth. And now it's pending. Okay, my phone says it's sent. Refresh. Okay. Yeah, it may take a few moments. Yeah, okay. If we go back to the app, here you will see all the transactions I have sent. Okay, MetaMask on my phone just said the transaction is success. Yeah, you can see it's a success. And when we click more, here in the input data, you can see that we included the URL here, so that in future that we can make an aggregation to let the user know that they received a tip for which article, which content. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much of it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll hand back to Alicia now. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, this is so exciting. I feel like what needs to happen is you need a reaction video on people when you demo, because I feel like if people looked at my face while you were doing that demo, it would have been a lot of entertainment value, because my mind was so blown. It was really amazing. This is so exciting. I feel like I know that you're getting a lot of emojis, and I think hopefully I'm just able to express the feeling of the people watching the demo that this is very, very exciting. Also, a 1 ETH girly ETH, like a whole girly ETH to Vitalik is very generous. I feel like girly ETH is so in demand at the moment. But that's so exciting. And it's really, I think what's really cool about Planetable in particular is how foundational the ENS integration is, that it just feels like the base kind of, part of the base operating system of what is required to just like navigate your way through the dApp. It doesn't feel like this like huge added feature or anything. And so I think that's like something that we as a, project are working towards, which is feeling like a fundamental piece of infrastructure that, yeah, everyone just needs. So thank you so much. And that was really incredible. Yeah. Did you want to maybe shout out your Twitter handle so that people know where to go?
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much, Alicia. And yeah, recently we received a term 2 grant from ENS Town. Yeah, and that is tremendous support for us, and we appreciate so much. Thank you. Yes. Now leave my Twitter here.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Okie doke. So that was a very smooth demo. I've never seen a demo go that well on a live stream. So that was great that everything worked. So thank you, Xin. I'm going to call up. Okay. I think we have Shugo and Geeny from Phi.
Hey.
Hey,
Could
how's it
you hear me?
going? Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm good. Like actually, like I'm now like 4 a.m.
Oh
in
my
Japan.
goodness. And not only 4 a.m. Shugo, like a really insane kind of like 24 and 48 hours that your project has had. And that's also following on from like a really crazy couple of weeks, because you've really gone from strength to strength. And it's so exciting after seeing Phi in the Gitcoin grants rounds for ENS, and then seeing everything come to life is really incredible. So we're excited to hear from you. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah. So actually, thank you for this this amazing opportunity for us. Yeah. So maybe should I start right now? Okay. Oh yeah. So hey guys, I'm Shugo. I'm a founder of Phi, and like Phi is the like social metaverse built on top of ENS domains and created from on-chain and off-chain wallet activities, and which can like visualize people's on-chain identity. So we started our journey from like NFT Hack 2022, a hackathon held by ENS Global in February of this year, and we got the prize from ENS. And then from that point, like we launched our demo 2 times, like, and then finally, like we just launched Phi on the Polygon mainnet for the public just yesterday, just maybe 10 hours before this town hall. And actually, it's a big day. And then we got this like a continuous support from ENS Ecosystem so far, like especially Makoto-san, like he's my friend. Like I'm Japanese, he's also Japanese, so like we are friends. And he helped us like evolve our project. So for I really appreciate it to all your support. So let me explain the what Phi more specifically. Like Phi has 2 components, like PhiLand and the PhiQuest. Actually, so yeah, on the PhiQuest, like user can explore various quests in collaboration with like various protocols, and the users get rewarded with like the special object by completing the quest, like token swapping or like staking or liquidity providing, like that, and also like owning ENS. And then like after that, go to PhiLand. Could you go that? Yeah. So, and on the PhiLand, like people can create their virtual land. It's like kind of like personal space from the ENS domains. So that's why like if you have the ENS domain, like Shugo.eth, I can create the one land, Shugo.eth. So that's why ENS can work like MetaGov address. Yeah. And then like user can populate their land with a variety of objects, wallpapers, and also base plates. So they can customize it to their favorite. So it's like a gamification, like a SimCity. So through these gamification, like our mission is to like onboard the next billion users to the Web3 ecosystem. So it's more like a casual touch point for like even non-crypto native people. Okay, and also as our some traction, like we got the grant. Actually, like we won the 67,000 grant, 7,000 USD in the Gitcoin grant, like a GL like 15, and with the first prize in the ENS section, I think, and also like on our testnet, like we got the 34,000 like round created, and also 1.2 million total object, including free object and also some premium object, and also quest object like claimed. So yeah, and like So we just launched on mainnet next yesterday. So maybe after that, Geeny will explain shortly our philosophy and also how we can utilize the ENS for our product.
Hi everyone, I'm Geeny. I'm the growth lead of Phi, and I will talk a bit more about our philosophy and how we're utilizing ENS and hyperlinks. So we have an infinite amount of lands, and almost all existing metaverse land projects are finite. But this makes the land projects open to speculation, which makes the metaverse closed and exclusive. And I'm actually creating a new land here at the same time. So what we thought was there's no limit to the number of websites that exist on the internet, and anybody can build a website at any time. So by adopting this philosophy of the internet, we believe that Web3 metaverses should be the same. So we basically use ENS to accomplish this, because there's no common address system among the metaverse, and the current metaverse is siloed because of that. And there's no unique way to represent the land of land of metaverse A and metaverse B. So ENS can be used for the metaverse address system by using main and subdomains. So for the address system we want to create, and here's our land, we basically use ENS, and it's a perfect solution for us, considering a lot of people own ENS domains and they like to use it to define themselves, find each other, including myself. So we use ENS to create our metaverse lands. And then we basically tie everything together by using hyperlinks. This is my land. So we can connect unlimited amount of lands in a reasonable way with hyperlinks, and websites can be directly connected with hyperlinks, considering there's no concept of distance in the internet. And we can utilize this concept to connect lands by tying ENS domains together, which work as an address system to objects on a land. So this is how you basically can connect with someone else. And I have hyperlinked Shugo's land to mine. So hyperlinks will represent relationships between lands, and hopefully this will become a social graph between individuals and communities. And by using these methods, we aim to transform each independent land into a huge network space, and also turn Phi into an impenetrable social graph. While subjects such as civil attacks and importance of authenticity are arising. So thank you for listening. And we launched our mainnet product today for anyone to experience how we've been building our on-chain identities. And I'll pass it on to Alicia.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Geeny. This is so exciting, and I can't wait for everyone watching it. And I'm sure that we will do as much as we can to encourage people to create lands in Phi with their ENS names. I think that Vincent said it in the chat, but ENS address system in virtual, it's like an address system with virtual lands, makes so much sense. And this is actually something that I think about all the time, which is just like, that adoption graph that you see, and it goes like this and then it goes up. I feel like actually that we're kind of near the start with ENS. So to the extent that when you start thinking about identity, the thing that most people do is they think about their own personal identity. But I think it's really expanding for people like the community and the ENS ecosystem to see projects like Phi, because to me, thinking about ENS for addresses and things like that is kind of just like a little bit further along, and starting to really kind of start to tap into what it means to have objects named with ENS names or using ENS for identification. And once you kind of start to scratch that surface, it's kind of mind-blowing. So and love how thoughtful Phi is with like a lot of the philosophy as well. And I think it's just so well aligned in terms of the accessibility and kind of trying to really not play into the like the easy scarcity Ponzi-nomic type mindset of some crypto things and going in the other direction. So thank you so much for presenting. Wonderful demo. So excited to have you. Can't wait to do more with Mai.
Yeah, same here. Like, thank you for this amazing opportunity. Yeah. Okay.
I can't stop.
Cool.
Yep.
So I am going to bring up Steffen from DM3 Protocol. So, okay, Steffen, I'm just making you a co-host. And
yeah,
wonderful.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine. Thank you very much for this good meeting today. It was really exciting to hear all of these projects and the things from the complete ecosystem. It's really great to be part of it. So
wonderful.
Let me share my screen.
Perfect.
So what I want to present is the current state of the DM3 protocol. For all of those who are not yet familiar with the DM3 protocol, the DM3 protocol has the goal to build a Web3 messaging focused completely on encryption, decentralization, and especially, of course, also interoperability. And the main or the central point of DM3 is we need a central registry for the information we have to know to make this encrypted communications. We need public keys for encryption and signatures. We need information how to deliver a message. And ENS is the place where we store this information so that every person can have its DM3 profile, so that when I want to connect with this person, I can read this profile and then know how to connect with this person. So when we started in mid of the year, this conversation also with the ENS community, so we call it the interoperability initiative for Web3 messaging. So we have a lot of diversity in the Web3 space now with messaging solutions. And this is really good because we have different use cases, we need different apps, maybe different solutions. But what could be, or what is really needed is also that we have one language which can help us to interact between all of these solutions. And so we need a standardized way to exchange messages. And with the ENS3 protocol, we started to show a specification which we prepared. And now during the last months, we discussed it with a lot of people in the ENS community and the Web3 community. And during this time, we evolved from version to version and incorporated a lot of feedback. So, and right now we have finalized version 0.4 with a lot of feedback during the last months. And we had a lot of discussions with at least 10 or 12 different protocols. And now we are working on the version 0.5, which should be the release candidate for the first finalized version of the protocol. And so the first applications also now are starting to implement this standard or this protocol. So, and hopefully at the beginning of next year, we can see the first applications which can interact with each other using the DM3 protocol. Yeah, the documentation and the specification is open readable. We welcome everyone to join this discussion and are very happy to get more feedback. And yeah, and hopefully in the near future, we see first applications using this DM3 protocol to have interoperability between different messaging protocols. Okay.
Oh, wonderful. So thank you so much, Steffen, for joining us. And I know that I think it was a couple weeks, maybe even months ago, crypto time is kind of mind-bending, that there was a DM3 post in the governance forum. It discussed .ens.domains and it kicked off like a really good conversation. And so it's really great to have you here and excited to just keep following your progress with that. So, and DM3 at DM3 Protocol is your Twitter handle, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm just going to bring up Ivan from the .art protocol. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so just also to give everyone an idea of where we're at. So we're hearing from Ivan, and then we're also hearing from the ENSVision team that will kind of wrap up the ecosystem project highlights, and we might finish there depending on how time's going. Otherwise, if there are questions, please, if you're watching on YouTube and you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat on YouTube, and Vincent will relay it. Z7.eth will relay it to me, and otherwise, if you're in the Zoom, feel free to use the chat to ask questions. Yeah, cool. Okay, Ivan, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Really well.
Okay, thanks for having me. Yeah, just want to start off with congrats to all the stewards who've been elected this term, and everybody who've been re-elected. And I wish they have a great work. It's actually very nice to see that the DAO are actually working and the people are contributing in this very humane way. Yeah, that's I think that's going into the playbooks. So yeah, I will try to keep it like short and sweet and not too technical. We are art top level domain zone, and we've been active since 2017 when this whole TLD was created, alongside with many others TLDs at the time. And since then, the .art had pretty amazing traction, like alongside like on the Web 2 and Web 3 world, you name it. And we also supported ENS quite early on. I think it was since 2018. And back in the days, the integration was pretty. It was a first integration that was preliminary, had no NFTs, and it was like records. So-called pre-punks these days. And yeah, and then we kind of like was there from the beginning, but I will talk about it a bit later how we're moving forward with the ENS. I want to give like just a quick overview of the art like adopters, because actually it's pretty interesting to observe that unique collateral, unique social collateral that art has on the market shows that it's like equally adopted by both Web 2 and Web 3 world. And we have a good traction among like one of the biggest brands in the world. Some of them using that as the redirect to their website. Some of them using it as a standalone project dedicated to art. And that's very great to see. Like it's very like you won't see that often with any other domain zone, that it's actually like creating like a spin-off of the brand and taking it like art side of the things. So that's also consolidate into some numbers. Like art is like one of the fastest growing TLD for creatives. So that's going pretty well. You can dig deeper into the data if you want. So our integration with ENS in 2022 will look pretty much as the native ENS. So we're going after kind of like there's so much noise out there these days, so we're going after clear and representful look that consolidate similarities with ENS, and that we both work on the same network. And yeah, that's like just a quick overview of what's the main difference between the integration, how it used to be and what is it now. So basically, you have two options. One is that if you own the domain name, that you are able to mint this domain name as an NFT, but this NFT would be, sorry to say, have a soulbound standard, so it's untransferable. But people get freaked out when they hear that, but soulbound feels pretty, safe to say. Those names are linked to the DNS, and they're obviously run by ICANN and the bigger picture. So everything from like, for example, I dropped some names here like CryptoSwap, the fine art in Chinese 0001, mart. So all of those are DNS compatible names, and that means that if you own one of these names, you can log into our website and future many other websites, and they can just verify your domain and mint this domain on your wallet into exactly same collection. And the difference that, and another method that we're introducing just now is the method to mint native ENSs that lives only on the blockchain, and the owners are fully in control of those NFTs, the same ways they're in control of their ENSs, and they couldn't be removed by any other entity. In the first case, they could be only removed by the DNS. So, and you have to own the domain name. So the only thing that could happen, like if your domain name get into the trouble on the DNS level, then it could be like the domain name could be revoked basically, and then the NFT could be reminted. But for the ENS mint, it would never happen because that's all sits on the exactly same rails. So like triple emojis, any kind of characters, names with emojis, Arabic numbers, some of the $sign negatives. We're going after all of the things that are normalized and actually works in the most wallets and media, like in the dApps. And on the lower level, like the main difference also, like you can go a little bit lower characters. If it's DNS, like the opportunity there is like start with the 1. ENS will start exactly the same with the 3. And obviously, like the cost, we basically have no renewal cost for the ENS, which are linked to DNSs. And then your renewal cost will only depends on like where you register your domain name and what you're paying for it. So you can get like a name that actually like 1 or 2 or 3 characters, let's put it that way, and then you can technically own it without renewal fee or for $9 renewal fee. If it's your personal brand or anything of that extent, it feels pretty good. And then for the ENS, it would be pretty much standard. So that's being said, this is our kind of like goal, like in terms of integration into the art, and we're looking for the late February of next year. It's a preliminary date. We're going to get the firm date later on, and we actually have a lot of more things to be announced that couldn't be announced right now because we actually want to also contribute back to the community in different ways, and then I hope you will see some of our impact on the bigger picture. So the protocol.art is the website. You can follow us on Twitter.art_protocol. I'm Kraft.eth, and you can follow me also and hit me inbound if you're looking for some connections there. Thank you. Back to you, Alicia. You're muted.
Thanks. I was just going to say, thanks so much. And it's so exciting to see everything that .art is doing. And I'm glad that you were able to present at this town hall to put .art on everyone's radar. And kind of, I know that you and the team are working on lots of things in Q1. And so hopefully everyone who is watching now will think back to this moment when they, when kind of the next couple of months come around and .art really kind of hits its stride. And I think just, again, it's really incredible to see the really kind of creative ways that you are thinking about ENS names. I think it kind of goes even further than what we think about in kind of like our crypto Twitter bubble as like a Web3 identity, and seeing it put to use and seeing kind of the blend with DNS is really, really important. I personally think that the DNS integration that ENS has is actually my single favorite feature about ENS, and I think it's the thing that kind of is such a testament to the fact that it is public good and kind of building on the existing infrastructure of the internet. And so it doesn't make sense to go forward without acknowledging kind of, that you're standing on the shoulders of giants, being the DNS system. So really cool that you get to be in both worlds, and thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Before we pass to the ENSVision that we are hopefully going to work together as well, I just want to say that we hope that our example will also set the good kind of like example for other domain zones to join the ENS in the future. And there is 1,500 of them out there. And that's been said. Thank you, Furyan. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Oh, there he is. Wonderful. Okay, I'm just adding Furyan. We will hit from ENSVision in a second. Wonderful.
Hi, hello everyone. Good evening from Croatia.
Hi. Okay. So everything's working for you. I will leave you to it.
Yeah, I will share the screen.
Cool. I think everyone's excited to hear from the ENSVision team. I know we tried to get you on the Q3 town hall. I think the whole team basically was in Lisbon doing some really exciting hackathon stuff. So we're really pleased to have you here for the Q4 update.
Thank you.
I don't know that the impact of ENSVision over the last, 6 to 9 months has been so huge. And so happy to hear from you, Furyan.
Thank you. Also, thank you, Ivan, for his wonderful project. So we've been busy the last quarter. We went to Lisbon for several events. The first one was ETH Lisbon event, which was more, focused on Ethereum, but we were recognized there as one of the names, brands from ENS, from a lot of people on ETH Lisbon. After that, we were sponsors for the first women's Web3 hackathon, supporting developers from all over the world and their projects on hackathon. That was a new experience and totally amazing. And then in the end, we actually were exhibitors on Web Summit in Lisbon, which is most likely one of the biggest tech events, more oriented to business than to development of year 2022. And it was really exciting to be an exhibitor with so many different projects, and Web Summit is making a turn, because it used to be definitely one of the major Web2 events, and now Binance was there, Filecoin was there, ENSVision was there, and we were actively talking to a lot of businesses, promoting the vision of ENS. And that was amazing. And a lot of guests and exhibitors from other projects recognized us there. So let me just put a slight introduction for projects and people who don't know us that well. ENSVision is an ENS.vision is a ENS exclusive marketplace, and a set of tools for a set of bulk tools like bulk register, like bulk renew tool, bulk listing, and so on, many features on the marketplace as well. We launched our bulk registration contract in May. The growth has been much, exponential since February or March. And then I believe our bulk registration tool helped along the way a little bit. From July to November, 37% of all ENS registrations were through ENSVision's bulk register tool. We aggregate approximately 40% of all ENS trade volume, which is very good, because we actually compete with some of the biggest NFT, well, not some, the biggest NFT marketplace, and their competition as well. And these are some data from analytics from our website about our users and the amount of sessions and page views that happened since ENSVision started in March. We can certainly say it's the number is a little bit less, because people use VPNs, so we cannot have accurate. This is just a site analytic, but it shows a really high volume of users using our tools and our marketplace. We are preparing some surprises, some more bulk tools for the first quarter of 2023. We will continue to build other features, filters on our marketplace. Of course, we are waiting to launch our solutions for the subdomains. And we are working on some long-term strategies for marketing and onboarding people to ENS and ENSVision. So I'll give it back to you, Alicia. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Furyan. And yeah, I think that ENSVision is a testament to kind of the power of a really committed, fanatical community, and just how hungry they can be for a niche product, like you said, even when you're going up against the largest NFT platforms in the space. To see your stats is really incredible. And
thank you.
Yeah, really excited about all of the features that you're shipping as well. And yeah, excited to see kind of ENSVision go into 2023. So
big things coming. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's just hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're 5 minutes out from an hour and a half, so I think we're kind of on track. And I hope that everyone enjoyed the Q4 ENS Town Hall. This is the second time that we've done a Town Hall. We're going to keep doing them every quarter. It's just an opportunity for people to hear from the Labs team, which is funded by the DAO, the working groups, also funded by the DAO, and also a wonderful opportunity to hear from all of the ENS builders in the community and ecosystem. We've had such an incredible range of projects presenting today. I am so grateful to everyone who presented, and hopefully even if you are a huge fan of ENS already, you saw something today that expanded your kind of definition or awareness related to ENS. And I think that is the potential here. We could literally keep doing town halls for years, and every time there will be someone who comes along and builds using ENS in a way that we haven't even thought about. And so I think that's exciting. I know that 2022 has been a really big year. It has felt kind of nonstop for a lot of people, and especially kind of, I think maybe since the end of April, May, when, everything kicked off with digits and things like that. There have been a ton of events this year as well that ENS has participated in, thanks to funding through the DAO, which we haven't had an opportunity to do before. And it's really great to see kind of the impact of those funds flowing into projects and hackathons, and then being able to see builders and put faces to the names of projects. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you have had a wonderful time at the town hall. I just want to also just quickly remind you that if you have any questions related to ENS, whether they are related to the protocol, the DAO, working groups, ecosystem projects, literally anything, you can always DM the main ENS account. So the handle is ENS at ENS Domains on Twitter, and the DMs are open, and you will be put through to our support team, and they will get back to you. And if you are in the mood to find answers for yourself, then I think we may have mentioned this earlier, but today we launched the support docs, which was a lot of hard work by Cthulhu.eth and with help from Serene.eth and Z.7.eth. So you can find those at support.ens.domains. In the notes, I will also put all of the links to all of the sites that we heard demos from, all of their Twitter profiles and things like that. And my DM's are also open if you want to chat about anything ENS related. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much, everyone. This was wonderful.